Hello, my friends. Today we're learning Baba Basra, Daf Lamed Aleph. We're starting from the top line, continuing with the arguments between people about Chazaka, and we're going to learn new halachas. Says the Gemara, Reuven says, this field belongs to came from my father, from his grandfather, and Shimon says the same about the same field. So, Reuven, I see Sadi brought Edim Davosehi. They belonged to his father in the past. And Shimon, they've been 3 years in the field. Omar Rabba, so said Rabba, Maloi l'shaker. We should believe the person who has a chazaka, because he has a migu. Iboy Omale, Shimon could have told Reuven, Minoch Levante, I bought it off you. And he would be believed because he has a chazaka with Eidim, so he could have believed that. So now that he's saying that's from his father, we should believe him. Omale Abaye was a time the Rabbi told Rabbi, Mali l'shaker b'mokim Eidim lo yamrinan. You don't say Mali l'shaker migu b'mokim Eidim, and there's Eidim over here. What's a migu? Believe me, that was Shimon's father, because he could have said he bought off Reuven. But now, what did he say? That it's from his father's, and we have a clear Eidim that it's not his father's, it's the other one's father's. So you don't say a migu over here. Migu means believe me, but you can't say believe him. There's Eidim against that. Said the Gemara, the continuation of the story. Other Amalei, afterwards Shimon came around and said, In Davosachi, really used to belong to your father, and I bought it from you. And the reason why I said Davosi, that I said that it came from my father, that doesn't really mean that it came from my father. It means the Samech Le'alo Kedavosi. I mean that it's strong by me as if I got it to Yerusha for my family. But really, I mean I bought it off you. Says like more, what's it in? Toin v'choyze v'toin or ain't toin v'choyze v'toin? That means we know clearly that if someone taina is a taina best, then he can't come tomorrow or later on and change his whole taina. But the question is over here, is this just explaining what he said before? Or is this a whole different taina and then he can't do it? Says like more, Ula says toin v'choyze v'toin. He's just explaining that when he said it's my father, that don't literally mean that was my father. I meant to say that it's strong by me like by my father's. But really, I meant to say, I bought it off you and I have a chazaka. Now, no, it's forbidden once you tie it shavose. You can't suddenly say, I bought it off you. Contradicts what you said before. Even the Ola said that he could be choyze v'toin, he agrees. At the beginning, he said, didn't just say Shimon said it's my father. He said it's my father, they're not your father's. Then for sure it's contradicting to what he said before. You can't explain that it means it's strong by me like it's my father, not your father. We know clearly there used to be Reuven's father, and now he's changing and saying I bought it off you. That's a contradiction to what he said before, and in that case also Ola will agree. And another thing that Ola agrees, that if he was in Besdin and this story happened, and he didn't say that that's why I said that it's my father, I meant to say it's strong by me, but really I bought it off you. After he left Besdin, he came from the outside, and now he's saying that that's why I said that for my father, that means it's strong by me, and I really bought it off you. Then, even Ola agrees, then you can't. My time, what's the reason? Tanose Agmere. He went out to Besdin, he spoke to his lawyer who's a friend, and he told him, you should taina this. So he ran back to Besdin. It's not his taina. We could see that it wasn't his taina. And therefore it's called Toyin v'choyze v'toyin. Said the Gemara, even though the Narodori said you can't be Toyin v'choyze v'toyin in such a case, they agree. If he said if he says he keeps the old story that belonged to his father, but he says belong to my father who bought it off your father. So that's no contradiction to what he said before. It's just explaining what he said before, that it's my father's who bought it off your father. So there's no problem. And therefore he has a migu, because he could have said, I bought it off you. And therefore he has a migu. And therefore we give it to Shimon and not to Reuven. Also, Narodoi agree that if they had the argument Reuven and Shimon outside Besdin, he never said anything that I bought off you or my father bought off you. He didn't say some of the tiniest. When he came to Besdin, and he suddenly said different things to what he said outside Besdin, he's allowed to change from what he said outside Besdin. My time, and what's the reason of it? A person doesn't give out all his secrets, meaning he keeps some of his kindness for Bezdin. When you have an argument outside Bezdin, he doesn't say everything, but when it comes to Bezdin, that's when he takes out his full deck of cards. And that's not called regretting going back from what he said before. He just didn't want to expose everything before, and therefore it's not choiz of a toy. Omar Amreima, Ana Naudor, I come from Naudor, says Amema, and I hold the Toyin b'choiz of a toyin. We said Naudor said you're not allowed to be choiz of a toyin in such a case. I come from Naudor and I hold you could. Virchas said the Gemara Toyin b'choiz of a toyin in such a case. When he said Shalavoisai, and now you're saying that Shalavoisai, I mean it's strong by me, Kimoy Shalavoisai, it's not called the Chazorah. Tell the Gemara another story. Shalavoisai, Reuben said that this field belongs to my father, it came from my father. Shalavoisai, Shimon said it comes from my father. Ahai, Reuben, I see they brought a Aryeh Davose that used to belong to his father. And he also had Chazaka that he's been in the field for 3 years. Ahai and Shimon, I see he brought Eidim only that he's been there in the field 3 years. So they both have Eidim of Chazaka, and one of them also has the Eidim that used to belong to his father. They both have a contradiction about the Chazaka, so we cancel that out. So we cancel that part of the Eidos out for both of them. So we're only left with one part of the Eidos that used to belong to his father. So we give it to Reuven, because Reuven has Eidim that used to belong to his father. Shimon has no Eidim. This is a contradiction of the Eidos, because it's the same Eidim who said that was the father than Chazaka, and the Chazaka part got cancelled, and therefore we shouldn't believe in whatsoever. So Rav Nachman told Rava, very good, we contradict this Eidim about the Chazaka because of the different Eidim saying that Shimon had a Chazaka, Lamed Aleph Amud Beis. The part that belonged to the father of Reuben, no one was makrish that part of the Eidos, so that keeps strong. Said the Gemara, Rav Nachman, heard this machloikis of Rav Nachman is bepluked to the same machloikis to Rav Huna Rav Chizda Kumifligi. The itma that we learn, base kite Eidim amakrish zu, two kite Eidim that argued, and they say, one says Reuben owes Shimon money, and the other one says Reuben does not owe Shimon money, and they contradict each other about the story. If one of these kite Eidim want to come give an Eidus about a different story, we believe them because we don't know which one's apostle. One of them is a liar, but each one by themselves, they can come and give another Eidus in the future. So that fits in like Rav Nachman, who said, let's cancel the din of the Chazaka, that because they contradict each other, but we still believe them about the father. Rav Chizda, I don't trust them. They contradict each other. We don't believe any of them evermore in any Eidus whatsoever. So says Rav Nachman, Rav Nachman, who says we believe them about the father part, holds like Rav Huna that they don't get cancelled. Rava, who says that the whole Eidus is Mukreshes, holds like Rav Chizda, who says Behate Eidi Shakri Lomali. Says the Gemara, no. Ali but Rav Chizda, Lefi the shit of Rav Chizda, who says that Behate Eidi Shakri Lomali, even about the different Eidus, everyone agreed that Rava fits in like Rav Chizda, and Rav Nachman does not fit in like Rav Chizda. Ki pligi, when in the argument, that means when can we say that they all agree that it's not toile on this machloikis? Ali b'du Rav Huna, the whole machloikis is Ali b'du Rav Huna. Rav Nachman or Rav Huna. Rav Nachman very easily, who says that we believe them about the father, fits in very nicely about like Rav Huna, who says over there about these two kite Eidim, that we believe them about the other Eidusim, so also here we believe them about the father. And the Rava, who doesn't fit in like Rav Huna, so the Gemara Rava also fits in like Rav Huna. Why? Ad Kanoi Kama Rav Huna, he's going to say, only over there Rav Huna says we believe them in the future. Elul Eidus Acheres, when it's a whole total different Eidus later on, we can believe them because we don't know which ones are lying. So when it comes to new Eidus, the Chazaka of Ne'emonos didn't get cancelled. Lo'isa Eidus over here that we talk about the same Eidus itself. His Eidim said it belonged to his father and the Eid Chazaka, and we cancel the part of Chazaka. Then even Rav Huna will agree that this whole Eidus is cancelled and we can't believe this Eidim. So it comes out that the Machlokes, for sure, Lefi Rav Chizda, Rav Nachman doesn't fit in. But Lefi Rav Huna, Rav is going to say, yes, I fit in afilu Rav Huna. When did Rav Huna say that we believe him is about another Eidus? But it's one, that Eidus was mukhash, the whole Eidus of that Eidus is akosha, and we don't believe them anymore about that Eidus. Tzedek Gemara, continuation of the story. Hoda Aisi Saade Davosihi. So again, so Reuven Tainit was his, Shimon Tainit was his. Reuven brought Eidim that belonged to his father, and he had Chazaka. Shimon brought only Chazaka. So we said, Rav Nachman said, we cancel the Chazaka and we have left only with the Eidus about the father, and we give it to Reuven. Now later on, Shimon came back and brought Eidim that also a different set of Eidim that used to be his father's. Omer Rav Nachman, Ano Nachtinan, we gave it to Reuven. Ano Naskinanli, we'll take it away from Reuven and we'll do Kol Darling Far because no one has a raya, they contradict each other. And Lezilusa the Beitina Loi Chayshinan, and we're not choishish that people are going to say, oh, on Sunday they passed in that Reuven, and now on Thursday they're giving it to Kol Darling Far and they're taking away from Reuven. And we're not choishish for the bush of Bezdin that people are going to talk against them. Mosiv Rava asked the Kasha on Rav Nachman, the Itim Rav Zera, and some people say Rav Zera asked this Kasha. It says, Shnaimi Meres Meis, two Eidim come and say Reuven died, and now his wife Sarah could get married. V'Shnaim Oimim Loi Meis, and two Eidim come and say he didn't die, and she's still married. Shnai Od, another case, Shnaim Oimim is Garsha, two Eidim come and say Reuven, Sarah got a get from Reuven. The Shnai Morim and two Eidim come and say, Reuven never gave a get to his wife Sarah. They contradict each other, and therefore she's becheskas and so on. She's not allowed to get married. Bimni says, but if she got married and didn't listen to Best, then Loi Teitze, because she keep Bisoymech on the Eidim who said that the husband died or gave her a get. Rabbi Menachem Rabbi Yossi Teitze. She should go out, even if she got married. Omar Rabbi Nachman Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Nachman Rabbi Yossi says, when did I say that she needs to leave? First they said she could get married because the husband died or gave her a get, and afterwards another Eidim came and said, no, he never died, he never gave a get. And now we're in contradiction with Bezdin Paskin, she can't get married, and then she went and got married. Then she needs to get divorced. Avol, but Nisis, if she got married after the Eidim came to say that her husband died or gave her a get, and only afterwards the second Eidim came to say no, her husband didn't die, her husband didn't give her a get. Aryeh, since Bezdin Paskin already she could get married, we leave her in that situation and she could stay married. So we could see that we're choishish lezilusa the Bezdin. Once Bezdin Paskin, we don't change it. So how are you, Rav Nachman, saying we're not choishin lezilusa the Bezdin? Malay, so Rav Nachman told Rava or Rav Zira, I was planning to do a Maisa and to take it away from Reuven in our case. But Ashtodo is now that you asked me a kasha from what we just learned, and Rav Mamnuna and Rav Mamnuna and Suri asked me the same kasha, I'm leaving it by Reuven because we're choishish lezilusa the Bezdin. What happened? Nofak, he went away, Rav Nachman, and he actually took away from Reuven, not like we just said that he said, I'm going to leave it by Reuven. No, he took away from Reuven. So Man the one who saw this, Sova, he thought to himself, they must be Rav Nachman made a mistake, because he said you shouldn't take away from Reuven, and suddenly he's taking away from Reuven. It's not true. Elo mishum detalia, he had what to be toilet his psak, but actually Ravi on strong sources, like we're going to learn now the whole sugya, and we're going to go all the way down to Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, down the bottom, because it's one sugya to understand it in one piece. Let's see, what's actually Ravi? The whole the Yinochoishish le Zilusa de Bezdina. That now we learn Commissioner Rabbi Yudah says, Ein malim lekun al pi eid echad. If one aid comes and says that this Reuven is a kohen, we don't trust him to eat truma and to work in Beis Hamikdash and to do duchenik. Omar Rabbi Loza comes to Rabbi Loza and he says, Emosai, let me explain you what Rabbi Yudah was talking about. When do we say that we don't believe one aid? In a place where there's a koil, where there is Eidim, like we're going to see in a bit, there's an Eidim saying that he's apostle. Aber b'mokim she'ne'orim, if there's only a koil that is possible, but there's no eidus that is possible, malim lekun al pi eid echad, you do trust one aid to make someone a koil. Rab Shimon Gamliel lo ima mishum Rab Shimon ben Askan, malim lekun al pi eid echad. He says you do male lekun al pi eid echad. On that the Gemara asks, Rab Shimon Gamliel, ein Rab Elazar. What's the difference between them? Because they both said that there's no orim, you male lekun al pi eid echad. And it can't be that Rab Shimon Gamliel is coming to say even if there's eidim that is possible, you male lekun al pi eid echad. That makes no sense. So what's a machlokes? If you're going to tell me the argument is in a case where there's only one aid, when it says Rabbi Elazar holds, says that more Rabbi Elazar sova arachad, that even if there's one aid saying that is possible, he's considered the aid, and another aid who comes to say that he's kosher, we don't trust him. Rabbi Shimon Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel sova arachrei, that only if there's two aidim coming to say it's possible, then we don't believe the aid echad. But if it's only one aid who's saying that it's possible, we will listen to the one aid who say that he's kosher. And that's the argument between them. In a case where there's only one aid who's passing him and one aid who's kashering him, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says that he's kosher lekun, and Rabbi Elazar holds his possible. So that can't be the machlokes. Rabbi Yochanan Divra Koil. Rashbam says we don't know where Rabbi Yochanan said this, but Rabbi Yochanan says Divra Koil. Everyone agrees. In arrow, whenever we say arrow, poches v'shnayim, arrow means two. So here they're arguing about arrow. We can't say it means one. It must be that there was two eidim who coming to say that he's possible. So what's a machlokes? It can't be that Rabbi Shimon Gamliel holds that even if there's two eidim to say that it's possible, we'll believe one aid. Doesn't make any sense. Eloi must be arrow trade that there's two eidim coming to say it's possible. And here what we're talking about, we know this person's father and we know that he's a kohen, so he's becheskas kohen in the first look at this person. Hava, he was. And a sound came out, ben Grusho ben Chalutzu, that his father was married to a divorced woman or chalutzadik woman, and therefore he's posel a kohuna, and it was only a kohen. So Bezdin Achdine took him down to say, let's look into this story. There's a kohen that you're apostle, we're going to have to look into you. And then Echad came, and he said the kohen who, he's a kohen. And they made him a kohen because you have Eid Echad, and against the kohen, we believe Eid Echad. Also Beitrei, and now two Eidim came. He said, no, this guy, his father married the Chalutza, Grusha, his apostle Eidus. Lekuna. V'achdinu, Sebastian straight away made him ice kohen because there's two Eidim against one. But also Eid Echad, after those two Eidim came, another Eid came. But man, he said like the first Eid, the kohen, there is a kohen. V'dekula alma, bein Rabbi Elazar, bein Rabbi Shimon Gamliel hold, mitztarfim Eidus. That's that they didn't come to Bezdin at the same time, that's not the issue whatsoever. But also what the argument is, b'meichash lezilusa de beidina komifligi. The machlokes says, you choishesh for the busha of Bezdin, the zilusa of Bezdin, if they change their mind after they paskent. Rabbi Elazar Sova kevan dachtine, since after the two Eidim came, we put him and we made him ois koyen. Loi maskinele. We're not going to, now that another Eid came and kashed him, we're not going to put him again a kohen because Bezdin already passed him. We choishesh because chayshina lezilusa the Bezdina, because Rabbi Elazar holds we choishesh lezilusa the Bezdina, but Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Sova anu nachtina, and we made him ois kohen, but anu maskina, and now we're making him yes a kohen. Lay him, but lezilusa the Bezdina lo chayshina, we're not choishesh for zilusa of Bezdin, and that's a machlokes. And what's pshat is a very critical point over here. What's pshat if there's two, the whole machlokes we're explaining about Zilusa the Beis Din, but everyone agrees that Me'ikad Din, we should make him a kohen. We have two Eidim that is possible, two Eidim that is kosher. Why are you making him a kohen? So the Rashbam explains, and it's very important to understand that because he had a cheska, we knew that his father was a kohen, so if we wouldn't have any problems, we'd assume that the son's also a kohen. We know he's the son of the father of the kohen, so the son's also a kohen. So now we have two Eidim who contradict each other. So we put the Eidim aside and we go with the Chavroka that he's in, that he's a Kohen, and that's why we make him a Kohen. The only question is if we're Choshin and Zilusa the Bezdin or not. Said on this, Matke for Ravashi asked a kasha, this can't be the Machloikis, if this is the Machloikis, Mari Yirechad, Why did the Bryce over there talk about when at the end only one aid came? Afilu betray Nami. It should be talking about even if two aidim came afterward and said that he's a good kohen, he shouldn't be a good kohen because it's Zilus of the Besdin. So that can't be the machlokes. Why the machlokes, especially when one aid came, even two aidim, it's a much bigger chiddush. You'll say we chayshin and Zilus of the Besdin. Elo Maravashi, no. We're not choishesh lezilus of the Beis Dina. Even though we passed and we could change our psak, and therefore that's what we said early on. That's why we're bringing this whole sugya. There are Nachman paskin that after he paskin to Reuben, he took away from Reuben because we're not choishesh lezilus of the Beis Dina, because we could see here in the Bryce of the Ben Rabbi Loza Ben Rab Shem Gamliel hold we're not choishesh lezilus of the Beis Dina. The machlokes between Rabbi Loza and Rab Shem Gamliel is beletzaref eidus komifligi. When two eidim come to Beis Din at separate times, do we put them together or not? The Tanoim, the same machlokes like the other Tanoim that we're going to bring straight away. The Tanya, and this beginning of the Bryce is less relevant to us. We're bringing Agav the Sefer. They both need to see the same Ma'aseh together. Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha argues, even if the Eidus, one sees on Sunday and one says I saw on Monday, they put them together. But that's less relevant for our sugya. The main thing that we're bringing from this brayso continues the brayso the Eini Dusum Iskayemas, another din, not the din of Rabbi Shua Kocha, but Eini Dusum Iskayemas be Bezdin Achi Dushneim Keechod. Eidim is only a Eidus if they come to Bezdin together. And Rav Nosson no, Shoyim Dvorv Shozayoim. You could hear the Eidus of one of the Eidim today. When you hear when his friend comes tomorrow to Bezdin, Shoyim Dvorv, we listen to him and we put the Eidus together. And that's the machlokes by us Rabbi Loza holds that since there was an aid and then two aidim and we took him off of Kuna. Now when another aid comes, we don't put the other aid with the first aid to contradict the two aidim because they came separately. So therefore we have two aidim who pass on him, so therefore he's possible. And Rab Shimon Gamliel holds no malim al pi echad, meaning that it's mitzaref with the first aid and we have no problem to mitzaref them, and therefore it's a good Eidus, and therefore they contradict the other two Eidim, and therefore the both Eidusim get cancelled, and therefore since he has a chazaka that his father was a Kohen, we make him a Kohen. Thank you very much. Everyone should be happy and blessed.